Experiment time. Today I'm trying out 4 different methods of starting up your sourdough bread: true Autolyse, salted Autolyse, fermentolyse, and mix everything. Which one is the best? Hi, I'm Sune, and I'm a food geek. Today I'm going to try 4 different methods of getting your sourdough bread started. 1. True Autolyse, which consists of mixing just flour and water, which helps gluten development get started. 2. Salted Autolyse, which consists of flour, water, and salt. Yeah, I know a lot of you people are convinced that this method is the devil and will destroy your dough and break down the gluten early on, but I've tested this method before and it didn't seem to make any difference in the final bread. Then 3, there's the fermentolyse, which is the method that Chad Robertson of tartine fame is using. And that consists of mixing the flour, the water, and the starter, which I guess is just flour and water. It does start the bulk fermentation right away though, so that may result in a shorter all-round bulk, which is not in itself a bad thing. Then 4, the last one that I'll be testing, which you've probably seen me be doing over the last couple of months, it's just mixing everything right away. If this method brings the same or better results than the others, this is absolutely going to be my go-to method from now on, as it makes the whole dough making process a lot easier. Pause the video right now and let me know in the comments what method you think will give the best results. I'll be waiting here. If you're new to this channel, I bake a lot of sourdough bread and I make delicious food from all over the world. My goal is to show you how to get the most out of every ingredient, and I want to teach you how to do that in simple and understandable steps. So join me by subscribing and ringing the bell so you won't miss any future videos. The dough that I'll be using today is an 80% hydrated dough, 80% bread flour, and 20% rye flour. The inoculation is 20%, which means that I'm using 20% starter by weight of the total flour. The salt content is 2.6%, which I think makes the bread extra delicious. Remember, having a food item with high salt content doesn't in itself make it unhealthy. It's about how much salt you eat altogether. I'm a total champion about making the most delicious food you can and then just eat a little less of it, because it'll just satisfy you so much more. My prediction for this experiment is that it will not make a lot of difference. But we'll see after the breads are baked. If you'd like to support this channel, consider becoming a Patreon, which I'm linking in the card above. Or you can buy some merch or use the links in the description for tools and ingredients. Those links are affiliate links and will give me a percentage if you buy something. Thank you. Those were the words. This is the experiment. The formula for the breads baked in this video are linked in the description and the card above. First, I mix the flour and the water for the true Autolyse. I hold back 25 grams of water to mix the salt in later. Then I mix the flour, the water, and the salt for the salted Autolyse. Then I mix the flour, the water, and the starter for the fermentolyse. Here at the end, I sprinkle the salt on top, as I've seen Chad Robertson do in a video here on YouTube. It'll be mixed in later. And then the last bread, I just mix everything. Then I'll leave the doughs to rest for 1 hour. Then I mix the reserved water with the salt mixed in and the starter into the true Autolyse dough. Then I mix the starter into the salted Autolyse dough. And now I'll do the first set of stretch and folds for the fermentolyse dough. And then the first set of stretch and folds for the mix all dough. And I'll let all the doughs rest for 30 minutes. Then it's time for the first set of stretch and folds for the true Autolyse. And also the first set for the salted Autolyse. Then I proceed with the second set of stretch and folds for the fermentolyse. And also the second set for the mix all. Then all the doughs rest for 30 minutes. Then I do the second set of stretch and folds for the true Autolyse. And also the second for the salted Autolyse. Then I do the third set of stretch and folds for the fermentolyse. I do a Windowpane test, but it fails, so I put the dough away again. And then the third set of stretch and folds for the mix all dough. I do a Windowpane, and it looks good. So I put the dough into a bulking container and put it aside until the 3 other doughs are ready. And then all the doughs rest for another 30 minutes. Then it's time for the third set of stretch and folds for the true Autolyse. A Windowpane and the dough is ready for proofing. And then the third set for the salted Autolyse. This dough is ready too. And now the fourth set for the fermentolyse. And this looks good too, so all 4 doughs go into the proofer. And then I let the doughs ferment until they've grown 25%. The fermentolyse and the mix all are done at the same time, so I pre-shape them. Then I let them rest for 20 minutes on the counter. Then I final shape both of them and put them into the fridge to retard. Then an hour and 10 minutes after the first 2 doughs were ready, the other 2 are ready. Which makes sense because these 2 doughs had the starter mixed in an hour later. So I pre-shaped them. I let them rest for 20 minutes, and then I final shape them. And off to the fridge they go. Then about 18 hours later, I preheat my oven. After it's heated for about an hour, I grab the first dough from the fridge. This is the fermentolyse. I flip it. I dust it. I score it. And then I bake it. And here it comes out of the oven. Not bad, not bad. Then it's time for the mix-all dough. And here it comes. That's looking great. Then the salted Autolyse. Wow, that's wonderful. And then the true Autolyse. Wow, very nice too. Let's have a look at the crumb of each of these breads. First, the true Autolyse. Nice open crumb. Then the salted Autolyse. That's a really nice crumb too. Then the fermentolyse. A little bit tighter, but still really nice. And the last one is the mix-all. Nice crumb too. Let's have a look at all of them at the same time. Well, not unexpectedly, it really didn't make a lot of difference when you mix things together. The biggest difference was in the fermentolyse, where the salt was sprinkled on top, which is not a method that I'll be using in the future. The dough was super slack, which is not something that you'd want if you can avoid it. For me, the clear winner was in the mix-all method, because it both makes it a lot easier to make sure everything is totally distributed, but it's also the least fussy method. Why make things more complicated when they don't have to be? I hope you learned something today. See you next time.